That's why I was so grieved. It was so tormenting to me after that. And actually in my life, I had never befell such a scenario. I only had to pick my courage as a doctor not to isolate myself, for perhaps I would commit suicide and so on and so forth. Because I looked at the environment, I was so castigated, out of 500 plus being me. So to me, with what I've gone through, I know I will not blame myself so much, because I know God, this is not random. God knows why it happened. And perhaps it was to make me a better person in the country. When we went to our party headquarters, our leaders also were privy to such information that members of parliament had got some money, of which intent nobody knew. And there was pressure that we should take, if it is true anybody took that money, should be able to bring it back to parliament so that it can be properly put to use. So there was a lot of also pressure from my constituents as well, as my voters were piling a lot of pressure and say that, oh, come on, how come you went there also and decided to do the same like we've been hearing? So as our bosses, we direct, if you want to be in good terms with us, please do take back the money. Indeed, I hadn't confessed to them that I had got the money whatsoever, but because of the pressure, I decided to arrange in an attempt to wash off this, my hands, and that at the party headquarters they had directed that perhaps we take, if any of the members got this money, should take it back through the whip or the law.
There was a matter that arose on the floor of the House regarding what purportedly happened. We don't know whether it happened, actually. In that communication, we told you that it is alleged you went to the leader of opposition's office carrying some cash, money, purportedly given to you by the speaker for some reason which we don't know, and then the leader of opposition declined and asked you to take it to some other place. And then you also addressed a press conference where you made some allegations, which allegations actually were brought to the floor. And the allegations you made were against the person of the Right Honorable Anita Mo, the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, that she had given you cash. We don't know for what reasons. The Honorable Speaker was aggrieved, and then did the entire House and referred this matter to us as a committee. We would like, first of all, to seek your view. We don't know whether it happened or not. And if it happened, what are the circumstances it happened? And true, if it is true you are given the money, the one you are alleged to have returned and addressed a press conference, who gave you the money and what was the reason or whatever it is. So that's the matter before us. And we did communicate it in writing. I don't know whether you had an opportunity to look at that communication. But now that you've attended, I'm sure you read the letter. It detailed the allegations. Whether it was somewhere on TV or what, actually we don't know. Personally, I don't watch TV, so I even don't know what happened. And I don't know whether Honorable Katoto watches TV also, but as colleagues here, we don't know really what happened. So we just want to find out what exactly happened, why it happened, and then we can take it up from there. It has just been brought to my attention because I've been out of the country that by the clerk that you made some statement yesterday on the floor. Just we would like to know whatever it is. I don't know what it is because we've not got communication from the floor or from the House. So the House never took any decision because I was asking how whether the House took any decision. Because if the House did, they communicated it to us. But we shall handle it appropriately either way. So, the Honorable Dr. Twaha Kagabo, you are most welcome to this committee. Feel very, very free with us. The reason why we took another 30 minutes really is to make sure that everybody calms down. This is a committee of peers, your own. And it's not a police station. We just want to know exactly what happened, and we do the job for the good of this institution, including yourself. So just feel free, and as I said, if you want to have lawyers, that is okay with us, and the law requires so. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
So, what exactly happened?
I thank everybody who has made it a point to attend this honorable committee. I must also thank the Almighty God that the committee has taken place eventually, despite the regrets you made in your opening remarks for having not been able to convene the meeting as per the first dates. But nevertheless, perhaps it has given us more time and confidence to come and talk a word or two with the peers, like you're saying. Indeed, I must say it was a regrettable event. I happened to move within the precincts of Parliament up to the lobe with funds, and I must also acknowledge that there were some areas that were mismanaged, some mismanaged areas in the process of moving around. Members, you must have been aware of some information quite like a month and a half, 1.5 ago, that awashed the media and the country about some funds, perhaps that MPs were given some money. And when we went to our party headquarters, our leaders also were privy to such information that members of Parliament had got some money, of which intent nobody knew. And there was pressure that we should take, if it is true anybody took that money, should be able to bring it back to Parliament so that it can be properly put to use. So there was a lot of also pressure from my constituents as well, as my voters were piling a lot of pressure and say that, oh, come on, how come you went there also and decided to do the same like we've been hearing? So as our bosses, we direct, if you want to be in good terms with us, please do take back the money. Indeed, I hadn't confessed to them that I had got the money whatsoever, But because of the pressure, I decided to arrange in an attempt to wash off this, my hands, and that at the party headquarters they had directed that perhaps we take, if any of the members got this money, should take it back through the whip or the law. Unfortunately, there were procedural flaws there, and I did not convene a press conference myself. I had no intents of inputting onto other people's names or hierarchy. But because the community had had so, it was revelable that you mentioned that, something that was regrettable, and I still strongly regret.
I'm trying to understand. I'm sure even my other colleagues are trying to do the same. Because here there are several issues. Yes, you said you arranged money. You said that there was stories in the media about MPs getting money. But money for what?
Honorable Chair, that remains a question between me and you and the whole House, because...
No, there's no question between me and you.
What I'm saying, money for what? Of course, what was awashed with the community is that MPs were given money, free money. That's what the community had. That the MPs, honorable MPs, were given free money. And of course, the tradition here is that because of the past experience, they have a thinking that whenever MPs get free money, perhaps they are in preparation for the worst against them. So that was it.
May I ask, were you given the money?
No.
Because I was about to ask if you are given the money, which was for what reason and who gave it to you. But, so you had to arrange to satisfy what the circumstances you've been trying to explain.
Exactly.
Kagabo.
Where did you actually get that 40 million from?
No, he said he arranged.
He arranged.
I think we leave it at.
Okay.
He said he arranged.
From microfinance?
He arranged. Colleagues, maybe I don't want to, can you come in if you so wish? You heard the Honorable Kagabo. He says he arranged it because he had pressure from the circumstances, the political circumstances of his headquarters and the media. He says he regrets it. So, do you have any question to put in? I start with Honorable Katemba.
Thank you, Chair, and Deputy Chair, and our witness. I think it's very important as a country, and Mr. Chair, to recognize that integrity means everything. You can't recover everything else but not integrity. And you can't hold up integrity on your bank account forever. There comes a time when this integrity gets depleted and you don't even have a zero balance on it, but you got a negative balance on it. For some of us, your colleagues, integrity means everything. You can't take whatever I have, even my title, honorable MP or whatever it is. You can take all of my degrees. But one of the things that I'll never allow anybody to dare touch is integrity, because that's all I have. I lose it, I lose my soul. Now, sir, this is a family. The family called Parliament of Uganda. An attack on just one of us is an attack on all of us. Everybody knows that a system will have to run because of an engine. And the engine of the parliamentary system is the head of the institution, and they're the Speaker of Parliament. You direct something negatively or positively, the Speaker, you're directing it to every member. We can't assume that one of us would just roll in the mad. The moment you roll somebody in a family in the mad, by extension, directly or indirectly, you're applying it to everybody. The point that I'm trying to raise, Mr. Chair, that this thing cannot just go away by, I'm sorry. We get a lot of feedback from the people that believe in us. And a lot of that feedback was negative. And we continue to struggle because of that kind of feedback. You owe it to the leadership of this great institution and to this committee and the leadership of this committee to come clean. This is no time to make a presentation in idioms or proverbs. This is the time, sir, before a national audience to say that we're here to account for government time. And we're here precisely because we have to right the wrongs. In conclusion, Mr. Chair, we don't take this lightly. One of the things that we have in our fellow citizens have to recognize that we have the freedom to choose our actions. Just like you had the freedom to choose what you did, but you never have the same freedom to choose the consequences of your actions. You didn't consult nobody when you did that because you thought maybe that was not necessary. But here we are, and here you are before this committee facing the consequences of your actions. So I think, Mr. Chair, so if it pleases you, I feel that it's very important to send a clear message. And I'm not trying to determine, because I don't have capacity to determine the outcome. It is your pleasure, Mr. Chair, that this process will serve as a deterrent to somebody else. Becoming an MP does not change who you are. It only does one or serves one purpose. It reveals who you are. There's no time to be vague. We need to take a position, and I owe it to the leadership of this parliament, the leadership of this committee, and to our fellow citizens. We're not here for games, sir. We have a lot of important things to do, and I believe that we're going to come to a consensus, and the consensus that will lead us to a better Uganda. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Mine is going to be brief. Honorable Twaha What's the level of your education?
I hold a master's in surgery.
You have told this honorable committee that you went to your party headquarters and they insinuated you to come and play a film in the Parliament of Uganda. Chair, I don't know whether I'm right to ask him to tell this whole committee that the insinuation or what he did, he was influenced by his party headquarters. That's all.
Chair, Honorable Kagabo, we thank you for the statement you have given this committee. Honorable Chair, I think this actually highlights one of the importance of the orientation that we usually have to give some of the new members of Parliament. In the statement of Honorable Kagabo, he stated something which may not be only affecting him, but affecting so many other members in silence. That is the pressure from the constituency. But the way we handle that pressure, I think, is to our individual capacities. And it is very unfortunate that in order to fulfill the pressure of his constituency and to gain that popularity, it took him into a different direction, which put the parliament status into disarray. So we understand that he actually apologized. I was not in the house yesterday. So
we like to concentrate what is here.
What is here, that's true.
Yeah. What is here? What happened in the house? Unless we have a formal communication, let us do the business which brought us here.
Thank you. So my only question to him is if he feels that actually what he did was wrong to other members of the House and everything, how has this actually made him feel over the past few days? How has it affected his own personal circumstances in terms of the way he has been treated by fellow colleagues in this House, and whether it has made him feel uncomfortable on meeting other members within the floor? But I personally believe that let us give Honorable Kagabo an opportunity. I think he's a new member of Parliament, and yes, the wrong he has done is actually a very big wrong. But even in the courts of law, I think if somebody comes clean over the...
Honorable.
Yes.
You see, that time will come.
Yes.
We are not taking any decision.
No, we are not. I'm just putting it on the record.
We are trying to find out what exactly happened. At an appropriate time, we'll review all the circumstances as Honorable Kagabo has explained, and then we take a decision appropriately, and then we make a report.
Thank you.
As of now, we want to know exactly what happened.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll stop there for now. Thank you.
But I think as we do that, we need to take into account what the Honorable Katushabe has submitted. It's about all of us. Every action a member of Parliament does is about the entire institution. So it's not about him alone. You do something, it's all about the entire community. And sometimes we don't look so good as a Parliament because of individual actions of a particular member or colleague. Let me tell you, yesterday, there was a debate which was going on in the House about Nyege Nyege. It never took more than 30 minutes. And the whole afternoon, the entire House was looking at a very, very important piece of legislation, the national local content. Very important. Let me tell you, nobody is talking about that business. Everybody is nyege, 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 nyege. And I feel so hard. The most important law to the economy of this country, to all the citizens, is being debated. Nobody is talking about it. There is no even public input. whether we are doing is correct. You know, sectors like the petroleum sector, where we think our people should have a stake, so important. Nobody, including our friends, the fourth estate. Though this one actually, the issue is not the fourth estate, it's the social media. Everybody is talking about nyege nyege. And I'm saying, the national law content law is being passed, the country is quiet about it, no input. So what Honorable Kagabo experience you are having is your individual action, we are all answerable. So we want to find out what exactly happened. Everybody, money, 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 money. Say, money for what? So, I think, I don't know that Padiel have answered you. We shall talk, we shall discuss and reach a conclusion. As of now, let us find out the circumstances under which the Honorable Kagabo, as he has explained, acted, and then we shall see whether we take it up from here. Because we are supposed to ask the law, we are supposed actually even to ask the speaker that you are being alleged to have given out money. Why did you give out money? We are going to ask her. So you can imagine everybody is getting involved because of the action of the Honorable Kagabo. And the Honorable Kagabo is saying, look here, yes, I did it, but there was political pressure and I thought I would play along. If I understood you correctly, there was political pressure and you thought you would play along. And you arranged something and you played along. Now we are here. For your playing along and you arranging something.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Whereas our colleague, Member of Parliament, Honorable Kagabo, has clearly stated...
Honorable Dr. Kagabo.
Honorable Dr. Kagabo has clearly stated that it was out of political pressure and that there is no money that was given to him by Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, and that this Parliament did not receive such a money.
That one he couldn't have said because it's not the Parliament.
Yes.
He can't talk about himself.
That himself did not receive such a money as he alleged. And finally, having stated that he alleged because he wanted to satisfy the political pressure and the party pressure, and as he has really understood now, having known that this has affected the reputation of Parliament, reputation of the Speaker, reputation of everybody here, having thought about it, since it has been given some ample time, from your own thinking, what do you think you can do? What do you think you can tell this honorable committee? What do you think that can make you feel the way you were before you made such a statements? And two, you've said that it is regrettable that you acted out of that political pressure. Can you convince this honorable committee that that can't happen any other time? I thank you.
Well, I think the Honorable is raising a point at the end, which the Honorable Kagabo should be able to answer. Say, look here. okay, you've now explained the circumstances. We don't want tomorrow, again, to have another, no, when I appeared at the committee, I said this because there was this other problem. I think that's the point is trying to raise.
Yeah.
So that we continue moving in what? In the
Tandem.
circles. Because we want to close this chapter if we can close it. And we move on. But we don't want again tomorrow to hear another story. I think that's the point he's trying to raise.
Thank you, Chair and Honorable colleague. I must say, I took a reflection of whatever I did and realized there is need for us to work in harmony, with integrity, as a house, not an individual. And even according the due respect to our presiding officers whatsoever, if we are to dispense services to our community very well. So that's why I was so grieved. It was so tormenting to me after that. And actually in my life, I had never befell such a scenario. I only had to pick my courage as a doctor not to isolate myself, for perhaps I would commit suicide and so on and so forth. Because I looked at the environment, I was so castigated, out of 500 plus being me. So to me, with what I've gone through, I know I will not blame myself so much because I know God, this is not random. God knows why it happened. And perhaps it was to make me a better person in the country. And maybe my other colleagues to take a leaf from. And of course, that consolidates why it is not by mistake that this rules committee is here. It's not for aliens, but it's for us members here. I therefore, Honorable, with all the torments and tortures I've gone through, it's not easy to come here or wherever and literate on these matters. Actually, I don't want to talk much about them because I feel bad. But my affirmation is that, as far as I'm concerned, I must appreciate the CID unit and whatever that handled this, and they cancelled me out of this, and they gave me the necessary information to refrain from the media, whatever, and so on and so forth, and something that I've done to my best. So really, I'm privy to the fact that the integrity of my fellow colleagues, their privileges and rights were infringed upon, like Honorable Katusabe is saying. And I know this is in the same vein as to why I picked courage to come even onto the floor yesterday to make statements, apologizing to fellow members and the speaker as well. So I don't think this can happen by a person of me or even anybody who has seen this happen. Perhaps that will be so many years, those will be so many years to come in the subsequent members of parliament. Thank you.
Because we may take it further or we may not take it further. So can we have, they don't call it adjournment. The matter is stood over for 30 minutes. First estate, please give us 30 minutes and then you'll come back with your citation. This was the beginning of a process which you thought is going to take us a few weeks to investigate and find out the truth. So today was purely an opening day. We had even lined up people to talk to, including the leader of opposition, and I told you we're even going to talk about the speaker and many other people. Fortunately or unfortunately, you've cut this whole process short by your opening statement. Because what you would have gone to investigate, you have answered them. So it may not be necessary for us to take this process further from you, from your testimony. In that belief, we would like to have something unequivocal, because we have to carry it to the House in our report. Do you have an unequivocal apology about this incident? Because once you do that, then the process ends here and we make our report. If you see it is this, then for us we must take it further, call other people, including your party headquarters and so on, say what is this going on, including the leader of opposition and other people whom we think could be relevant. So in our view, if you think you can put that unequivocal apology, then we just have to write our report, and according to our rules, maybe your colleague, our colleague, can you read it for us if you have the rules there? 1753.
Without prejudice to sub-rule 2, where an affected party agrees to the findings and recommendations referred to in that rule, there shall be no debate save approval of the report by the House.
So that's what the rule requires. If you agree with our finding that, okay, this happened, is true, it is regrettable, and the member affected has apologized and regretted, and we shall give the circumstances like you have explained, then we have to make a report in line with that rule. And that report, once you accept, then even the House doesn't have any right to debate it. Yes, Honorable?
Thank you, Chair. When I follow the script of the Hansard, something has to be, considering that doctor may not have the legal background and the terminology you've used of unequivocal, perhaps, Chair, it would be appropriate that you break it down for our colleague. Then he understands what the unequivocal is.
Doctor,
in simplicity.
I'm talking about doctor. I'm not talking about some Essex equivalent. No. Our friend, the fourth estate, and the members of the public, whenever they talk about MPs, they think we're all Essex equivalents. But really, you might go in this house and you don't find an Essex equivalent, actually. Yeah, much as the Constitution says. That is the minimum qualification. People think all of us are. So I think doctor should be able to know what an unequivocal apology is, and if he's willing, then we write our report.
I'm willing, Chair.
Sorry?
I'm willing.
You are willing. Okay. Can we do this now, clerk? Okay, the record shows doctor has an unequivocal apology, have a draft report together with that unequivocal apology incorporated, share it with doctor, okay? The entire draft report. And once it is there and it doesn't have anything, then we take it to the House. But if he disagrees with it, then we shall have another debate in the House. Okay? And how long do you need? We need a draft report. Okay, let's give you the time. Sometimes you people want to act through timelines. We need it, today is what? Tuesday? Wednesday. We need it by Friday. Share it with the doctor by the close of business on Friday, and then we need to approve it on Monday? Monday. We approve it on Monday so that we are on the order paper on Tuesday. Okay? Have you got the timelines? Yeah. And please, there should be next Tuesday. Don't go for maternity leave. Don't go for anything.
She has finished.
Make sure that that draft report is ready at that time, okay? Yeah. Doctor, do you have anything to say? Because we are going to close.
Nothing much.
Nothing much. Okay. As doctor says, no, Reverend, as the Reverend Father says, saying sorry is not for the weak. It's for the strong. If people make mistakes and they say sorry, I mean, what more would you want? It is an honor, actually. Very many people don't want to apologize. They don't want to realize that they make mistakes. But at the same time, as we make these mistakes, we need to be aware that those mistakes have repercussions to the entire institution. To the entire institution. Many colleagues, politicians, are having a big problem of reacting to public pressures. And we end up acting in a very populist way because you think by doing this, then you'll be scoring a point within the major what? Public. Unfortunately, it doesn't help build mature politics or politics of leadership. You just get people, many politicians, you know, they're on radio and saying all sorts of things. They're on social media because they think they are scoring a what? A point. And really, the quality of leadership goes on degenerating. Goes on degenerating. So as leaders, we should always be reminded of our responsibilities, that whatever you say, know very well, or whatever you do, it has repercussions to the entire leadership of the country, including an institution like this. Having said that, we don't want to go into lecturing. So, clerk, make sure you share the draft with the doctor by Friday. Then on Monday, do we say in the afternoon, 2 o'clock? Folks, will you have come back from your constituencies? 2 o'clock on Monday. The report will be ready so that we can ask for space on the order paper on Tuesday. And then let... Yeah, actually, there is that process which you must also start. The one regarding Honorable Namuganza. Yeah, but as you know, the Reverend will be the one sharing it. What is this?
The speaker has already cleared.
Clearance of the speaker. Yeah, it has been cleared. So you need to start that process. Have you? But you have not put out the program on the group. Can you do that? Have you discussed with the chair? Yeah, you discuss and then issue the program on how you are going to hold those meetings. Because you will not be available for those meetings. Yeah. So in that first meeting on Monday, we can also look at the what? At the report, which the Honorable Kagabo would have had a chance to look at. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Honorable Kagabo, you are discharged. The rest